In the heart of the deep forest, where the trees stood tall and ancient, there lived a community of animals known for their unity and harmony. This forest was no ordinary place. It was ruled by an unspoken code of loyalty. The animals, foxes, deer, rabbits, owls, and even the great bears, had always lived in peace, watching over one another through changing seasons. At the center of their world was a mighty oak tree under which they often gathered to share news, solve problems, and celebrate the gifts of the forest. Among these animals were two lifelong friends, Soren the fox and Fia the rabbit. Despite their natural differences, they had grown up together, learning from one another and proving that trust could transcend instincts. Soren, known for his cunning and speed, would often use his sharp mind to help the smaller creatures, while Fia, gentle and swift, would venture deep into the forest to gather food that others couldn't reach. Their bond was strong, and they had always been there for each other in times of need. One autumn, the peaceful balance of the forest was disturbed when a stranger arrived. Bane, a lone wolf with piercing yellow eyes, prowled into the heart of the woods. He was larger than any wolf the animals had ever seen, and his hunger seemed insatiable. Unlike the other wolves, who occasionally visited the forest but honored its harmony, Bane was a threat. He did not care for the unwritten rules of the forest. He hunted relentlessly, attacking the smaller animals and causing fear to spread through the trees like wildfire. The animals held a council under the mighty oak. Soren stood at the front, his sharp eyes scanning the worried faces of his friends. "We must protect each other," he declared. "This forest thrives because we trust one another. We've always watched each other's backs, and now is the time to stand together, stronger than ever." Fear, standing by his side, nodded. "If we show Bane that we are united, he will know that this is not his forest to terrorize," she added, her voice gentle but firm. A plan was made. The animals decided they would take turns guarding the edges of the forest, always in pairs, so no one would ever face Bane alone. Soren and Fear took the first watch, patrolling the north side of the woods where Bane had last been seen. It was a cold night, the sky darkened by storm clouds, but the two friends moved quietly through the trees, ever alert. "I trust you with my life," Fear whispered as they walked. Soren, though usually confident and composed, felt the weight of her words. "And I trust you with mine," he replied, their bond solidified by the looming danger. But the night did not go as planned. As they rounded a bend near the river, Bane appeared, his eyes glowing in the darkness. He lunged toward Fear, faster than Soren could react. Without hesitation, Soren threw himself in front of his friend, taking the brunt of Bane's attack. They wrestled in the dirt, the snarling and growling breaking the silence of the night. Fear, terrified but determined, darted toward a nearby thorn bush, where she had hidden a sharp stick earlier in preparation. Grabbing it in her paws, she rushed to Soren's side, striking Bane with all her strength. The wolf, caught off guard by the small but fierce rabbit, let out a yelp and staggered back. Soren, though wounded, struggled to his feet. The two friends stood, side by side, facing the threat together. Bane, seeing their unwavering loyalty to one another, hesitated. In that moment, he realized that this forest was unlike any he had terrorized before. Here, the animals stood as one, ready to protect each other no matter the cost. With a growl of frustration, Bane turned and disappeared into the night, his figure vanishing into the shadows. Soren and Fear, though exhausted and bruised, made their way back to the oak tree where the other animals were waiting anxiously. When they told the story of their encounter, the animals cheered not for the defeat of Bane, but for the loyalty and courage that Soren and Fear had shown. From that night on, the forest was a safer place, not because Bane had been driven away, but because the animals knew that their strength lay in their trust and loyalty to one another. The mighty oak continued to stand tall, a symbol of their unity, and the forest thrived, as it always had, in peace. In the seasons that followed, the story of Soren and Fear's bravery was told again and again. Their loyalty had become the foundation of a renewed commitment to each other. Every animal, from the smallest mouse to the largest bear, knew that they would never be alone in their time of need. The forest had proven that loyalty was more powerful than any threat, and as long as they stood together, nothing could break their bond.